Okay, good afternoon, and thank you for joining or inviting me for today's webinar. My name is Dr. Nowbar, and I'm the co-founder of Rush Foundation and a researcher at the same time at the Institute for Digital Economy and Artificial Systems in Humanitarian University. Today I'm excited to talk about Afghanistan's resilience and innovation and how we can connect urgent humanitarian needs with global, especially Chinese solutions. But before we begin, I want to briefly outline what I'm going to talk about today. So my presentation will focus on the urgent humanitarian needs in Afghanistan, especially in the education field, and how these innovations like we are discussing today, these practical solutions, especially by the Chinese developers, can make a difference on the ground, especially to our kind of projects. So I'll keep this presentation short and direct, but there are too many things to discuss because our time is limited and the opportunity is also very valuable to me. So I would do a very short kind of introduction. And I'll be happy to expand on any point or discuss any detail further if you have any questions. So please feel to ask me after the talk. So let's start by introducing the Rush Foundation. We have found the Rush Foundation in 2022, and our work is mainly rooted in Afghanistan, especially education sector. And our mission is also very simple. Provide equitable education, pure water, humanitarian aid, and essential services to the people of Afghanistan, maybe for now, and in the future could be a problem. So our flagship project is the Hope School in Logat province, one of the very backwarded province of Afghanistan in the south. And we are providing free education for over 400 orphans and underprivileged children. And we are also building an online education platform for students and teachers and parents that I will also talk about later. So everything is carrying out, of course, with a proud partnership with the Peaceland Foundation in China. Our approach, both of like Peaceland and Rush, our approach is always community-driven and field-tested kind of approach. So today's talk on technological solutions will also be very sophisticated in this principle. So according to the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, in 2025, nearly 23 million people in Afghanistan, which is almost the half of the entire population, requires urgent humanitarian assistance only to survive. That means every other person you meet is in need of help, whether it's food, water, healthcare, or education. But these numbers are not just a statistic. For families, children, and entire communities, this is daily reality, a matter of survival and dignity. And each of these challenges is complex, but each also presents an opportunity, especially for the one we are talking today. So as we are looking to these needs, I would want to propose that let's keep in mind that with the right innovation, we can address these needs directly to the help of communities, to help them to overcome even the most daunting obstacles. So if we break down these needs, I would believe that these numbers became even more striking. Like you can see in this slide, 10 million people need an education. Over 17 million people need health and nutrition support. More than 21 million people in the whole country need clean water and sanitation. And food security, shelter, energy, and protection are all other urgent priorities for all these 20 million people. And every sector I mentioned above are interconnected with each other, which is also a good thing for us to make our innovation, our technological innovation, targeted for these needs to overcome. So let's focus on education first. As I mentioned earlier, there are more than 10 million Afghan children can't access formal education, and girls are banned from secondary and higher education in most of the provinces under today's jurisdiction. Besides, there are a shortage of teachers, especially female educators, and formal education materials are all the most needed, and proper resources for the education. And many schools demand these things which I mentioned. Most of them are damaged or closed even, especially in rural and conflict-affected areas. And there is almost no access to digital learning, the thing which is a must thing in our developing world. So this is a crisis that threatens the future of an entire generation, an entire country, and needs us to do something about it. So for me, personally, education is even more important than health. So I've chosen to put education crisis prior to health and nutrition, which is also another urgent thing in Afghanistan. So the healthcare facilities of the country are now underfunded or understaffed, I would say. Very severe, which is so many infections for the children, especially under 5. And there are essential medicine and emergency care, which is in a very scarcity situation. And hospitals, especially in rural areas, doesn't even have any of them. Besides, there are outbreaks of diseases like measles and cholera, and all these illnesses are very common in the country. So the need for medicine and nutritional support is very overwhelming in the whole country. So clean water and sanitation are other fundamental in the list, but access to them are very limited. Many communities lack clean drinking water, and sanitation facilities are very, very inadequate, I would say, especially in the schools and camps which these displaced people are living in. And basic hygiene items like soup and menstrual kits are very often unavailable. You cannot find it there. And these things increases, I believe, the risk of waterborne diseases in the whole country. In this list, food insecurity is another major challenge. Over 21 million people faces the food insecurity because agricultural productivity has collapsed due to drought or outdated tools. Families need ready-to-eat food and nutritional packs, but rising food prices making even basic staples unaffordable for almost many of these families. Shelter and displacement are also pressing issues. About 10 million people are internally displaced, often living in inadequate places, which I call shelters, and camps or returning areas where there are some specific. So on the top of that, in the past couple of years, we have seen hundreds of thousands of so-called returnees coming from Pakistan and Iran, the neighboring countries. While it's not always clear if all of them are truly returning home, but the reality is that tens of thousands of these people are in uncertain, even their need is very legitimized, so they need to resettle and rebuild their lives. So whatever the circumstances, the humanitarian need for safe shelter and a fresh start is undeniable for these families. And technological solution may help us overcome these kind of challenges we're facing. Energy and environmental challenges are another daily reality, not just in off-grid rural areas, but also in cities across the country. Many families have no choice but to burn wood, or when that's not available, they turn to burning disposable plastic or other waste material, especially during the winter, only to keep warm. And this practice fills homes with a toxic smoke, which is causing severe indoor air pollution, and the result is very imaginable, which is a surge in respiratory illnesses, especially among the children. Every winter, we will see thousands of children die because of this. And there are millions of people because of this weather problem losing their lives around the globe. So let's get practical for a moment. Imagine a classroom in a remote Afghan village, no internet and no electricity, and now picture that some classroom equipped with offline digital learning kits, solar-powered projectors, and even smart classrooms that can pop up anywhere in the country to train all those villagers which have no access to the education. Yes, these Chinese innovations already make everything possible, and we already have these kind of things. The same goes for health, mobile clinics, air purifiers for winter, and solar fridges for vaccine, which we are going to do in many of our projects. Smart agricultural tools, water purification units, and even drones for field monitoring. These aren't just ideas, they're already proven solutions really to be adopted in our projects. So here's where we are looking for the partnership in the Rush Foundation. We need to test offline educational kits in schools like our school in Loga province and all other rural areas. We also appreciate kind of pilot nutrition packs to be delivered to the children's homes, and solar lighting for displaced children. And we would also like to co-design some of these kind of projects if there's a possible for this kind of innovators that maybe need this kind of cooperation. And drone delivery is something which is very great thing, because so many places in Afghanistan that no car can reach. So drone delivery is one of the amazing innovation, and we can use it. So if you have any expertise, technology or ideas in any of these areas, let's connect, and together we can turn these needs into real solutions for Afghanistan's communities, and maybe also for other parts of the world. So at Rush, our vision is very grounded in 5 pillars, and we need to help each other to strengthen each of these points. Firstly, we want to expand our Hope Schools, this model with a safe, very exclusive for learning all these for all these children to learn. Secondly, we need support to create and scale digital learning content, so every children can have the access for these high quality lessons which we are doing in many languages. So thirdly, we aim to empower more woman-led kind of educational system, because girls needed role model, especially in countries like Afghanistan. And fourthly, we invite communities to co-design solutions, and it's the most important thing, because most of the time we have the solution and bring it from other places and it doesn't work because it's not applicable to those places. So it's very important to co-design solution which is very applicable and ensure the result of that. And finally, we are building an online platform to connect students and teachers all over the country. And this is one of the most needed of your help kind of technology and your support that I'm going to share this message with you today. So our dream is very simple: education without barriers. That's our slogan. And we want every Afghan children to have access to free, high-quality education, whether they live in a city or a remote village. That's why we are building a full curriculum for grades 1 to 12, filming thousands of classes and making them available both online and offline. But here is the real challenge that I want to discuss today with you. So many rural areas have no internet and barely any electricity. So what is the solution? To reach these students, we need tablets that can run on solar power, so we can load all the contents inside that before we handing them to the students. That could be a great innovation if we can focus on this. So we have 2 urgent needs based on this. Firstly, we need to help making this kind of devices, which is available for solar to be charged. The battery could be charged by solar power. And secondly, we are looking for donors and partners who are willing and have the resources to put these tools, these kind of tablets directly into the students' hands. So this is especially critical for girls which are banned from the school and have no option left to educate themselves. If you can help with these things like with content, with technology or outreach or even funding these kind of meaningful projects, you can help us break this learning barrier which the children have, millions of children have in Afghanistan. So let's make the educational possible everywhere, for everyone. So to whom are listening me now or watching the video or the recorded video later, here is an invitation for you. We are looking for partners to pilot, co-design and test new humanitarian technologies right where they're needed the most. If you have an idea, a tool or just the drive to help these underprivileged people, let's work together. So please join us in rebuilding dignity through education and access of it. Thank you for believing in this mission and let's make this change together. Thank you.